So this video is for you if you're posting on LinkedIn, but you're just getting likes from peers. And in this video, I'm going to explain to you why that's happening and how you can fix it. If we haven't met before, my name is Jesse van Breugel. I'm a top creator on LinkedIn and I help people with client acquisition through content. So here's the thing. You've been posting quote unquote valuable content on LinkedIn every week, perhaps a few times a week, but you're not getting any leads. And you're putting in all this effort and you're copying the templates, you're copying other people, you're really figuring out how to use content on LinkedIn to get more clients. Whether you're a coach, consultant, perhaps you're a small business owner, like an agency owner of any sorts of kinds. So you do see the opportunity and the potential on LinkedIn. And by all means, I would argue it's still the number one client acquisition channel in the world, because there's such a massive discrepancy between people that are consuming content and people that are creating content. So, but that's a different discussion. That's a discussion for a different day. So what might be happening in your case, which I'm 95 or even 99% sure that's happening without even seeing your content, because I spoke to thousands of people. And by now, I've coached hundreds of coaches, consultants, and agency owners to make LinkedIn their number one sales channel. So I've seen quite a few pieces of content. And the real reason that you're getting likes from peers, but not from clients, is that you're educating too much. You're teaching in your content, you're explaining things, you're trying to get your point across, and you're helping people solve problems that you think they have. And this is not your fault actually, because for quite a few years there was this trend, this wisdom, this line of thought, these ideas that you should educate your audience and tell them how to do things, and by doing so you provide value to the marketplace, and when they need you they reach out to you. That used to be true. However, it's 2025 now, and AI, ChatGPT, all the other LLMs are everywhere. So information is not longer the bottleneck. Like, I can become a subject matter expert in a few minutes, even though if I've never even heard of the topic before. So you creating content on like a how-to angle, trying to teach your audience something, how to do certain things, whether it's running ads or losing weight or signing clients, for example. It kind of depends on what you're doing, right? But that information has become a commodity. Sure, it was already always there with like Google, like you could search for this information, but it was more of like a maze. And now with Perplexity, ChatGPT, what other tool, knowledge is no longer the bottleneck. So sure, you showing your audience how to do certain things, it might make look you smart. It might show like, hey, this person knows a lot. But like I said, I can be a subject matter expert from a topic that I've never even thought about. I can write a post on LinkedIn right now. I can publish about quantum mechanics, which I barely understand anything of it. But I can literally use ChatGPT to write a post in LinkedIn in the right format with a hook about quantum mechanics. But even if I post this and my audience is into that, like, it doesn't really give them a reason to talk to me, because I'm literally giving them the keys to the kingdom. I'm like, hey, here's everything you need to know. Good luck. So why then would they talk to me or think about hiring me, right? Like, I'm a service provider. I'm pretty sure you're a service provider of any kind. Otherwise you wouldn't be really watching this video, right? So the goal here is like, and I'm gonna go over like how you fix this in a second. But let me just take a step back before. Like, your content on LinkedIn, it should create tension and not necessarily hand out all the solutions. Because if you hand out all the solutions, a few things can happen. The reader knows exactly what to do and they don't need you, or they kind of save it and like, okay, this is important for later, but they never really use it. So you're missing the opportunity to engage and interact people. So what you want to do with your content, you need to show people you understand the real problem better than they do. And that's where the magic happens. So instead of assuming they have a certain problem, you talk and handing out the solution, you talk on the problem, you talk about a certain idea, you talk about a certain outcome, and you point them in the right direction how to solve that. So we use a very simple 4-part structure. You talk about the what, you highlight the why, you tell people where to look, and then you end the post with the bridge. And this very simple structure helps your content from going from insightful and getting comments like, hey, great post, I learned so much from this, to people reading the post and thinking like, oh shit, this person understands me. You tap into some of the emotions you have, but also, and this is a nuance, and I want to speak a little bit more about this, is you tell them where to look. So with the traditional how-to content, you basically hand everything your audience, the reader, needs to know on a silver platter, right? Like, hey, here you have it. Whereas with this type of content, which we call authority content, is that you tell them where to look. Like, okay, you have this problem, I understand it's bothering you in your life, but to find a solution, look in this direction. And that's the interesting part, because when they look in that direction, they often see you as the service provider to help them solve the problem they have. So for example, I can write about how to get clients on LinkedIn. I can give the 9 steps or the 12 steps you need to do. Or I'm like, hey, you can, and then figure out or hope that the reader will do something on their own. Cool. Then I'm providing value to the marketplace, but I'm not really like generating leads and getting clients. Or I can say like, hey, in order for this to happen, I understand you have this problem. You need to have this, and this in place. And of course, in the post, I can like specify, like you need to post content, reach out to the right people, and connect with the people consistently. So I'm telling them where to look. And then the next natural question, of course, in the head of the reader is like, okay, I get that, but how do I do it? So they're leaning closer and they're like, okay, I want to know how that works. So a few things can happen then. They check out my profile, which they do. They message me directly, which they do as well. Or they go to a website and watch like a video, or they check out the YouTube instead of the LinkedIn, right? They're leaning in instead of, oh, I have everything that I need to know and now I can go out into the world on my own. So the content is just like, it builds this first trigger. Like I write about the problem they have, or I write about an idea I have. I write about why it's important for them to solve it. I tell them where to look, and then I end with like the bridge. And the bridge sometimes can be like, hey, if you need more information on this, message me. Or it can sometimes also be like more of a statement, like, hey, the people that solve this will have a massive advantage over the people that do not solve it. So it's kind of like a TLDR, because I know that if someone has read the whole post and they resonate with the problem, they understand the why, they know where to look, then the post in itself becomes a call to action. Because if they're really like confident and like certain about solving that problem, they will look for a solution. And then I position myself indirectly as the solution. And this is something that I want you to do as well. So stop posting the how-to content. But start using your content to pinpointing and tapping into the problems and the frustrations that your audience have. Tell them why it's important to solve these problems. Show them where to look for a potential solution without giving the 19 steps away, because like I said, they're never gonna do it anyways. And even if they do it, they don't need you, right? And like I said, content is a tool you use to get clients, to get leads, to grow your business. Like, you don't try to be Wikipedia, right? Because that's a battle you're never gonna win. Like, you cannot over-educate your audience, because where's the value in that, right? Like, we're losing that battle to AI and other technologies. So what you want to do with authority content, you want to still have an element of education in there, but just briefly enough to kind of like make them aware of like, oh shit, this is actually something that I'm working at, I'm solving. But at the same time, by you telling them high level what a solution looks like, you position yourself as an authority, and if they're like interested in like solving this, they'll reach out, whether it's like messaging you directly or checking out your profile. So for example, everyone that gets to my profile, I reach out to them because I know that there is a reason that they got to the profile, right? But that's a discussion for a whole different day. Like I might make a video on that. If you're interested about that video, how I reach out to people that get to my LinkedIn profile and how I easily book them on a call, drop that in the comment section, and then over the next few weeks I will make that video for you guys as well. But this is basically the whole framework, right? So you want to optimize for resonance and not engagements. Like likes ain't cash, as many people say, right? But your content should make the right person feel something and like, they're reading to me, or sorry, they're writing to me. They understand my problem. Okay, all right. So if I do these few steps, I can solve my problem. Okay, interesting. Tell me more. You see? That's way more interesting than, hey, here's the 90 steps that you need to do. And I'm like, okay, cool, I will save it. And then we all know how that happens, right? Like, we don't value free stuff. So this little but very, very important change in your content can literally transform your content from getting likes from peers and friends and coworkers to getting people in your DMs, reaching out, asking for you like information and asking to work with you, right? This is literally the whole, like this one thing, this one framework has transformed the business of so many of our clients. So if you want to get deeper into this and you want to figure out, okay, is this framework, is this something that I want to like build out? So what we help our clients with as well is like we've built like a GPT, so a custom GPT in ChatGPT that writes this piece of content without the clients doing something themselves. So like we usually work with or only work with like business owners who are busy. So we're always looking for ways like how can we streamline the process, right? Like before like one of our guys, Scott, he told me the other day that before every morning he sat down before he started with his work, he runs an SEO agency, and he's like, oh, every day I start with a blank page, and it took an hour to write a post, and I had to like think about what I should do, to write, all these things. So it was a massive bottleneck in his business. I helped him build like a custom GPT, and now his whole content creation process, he does it on a Sunday, it takes him 1 hour. It takes him literally 1 hour instead of 7 hours. Plus, his content is way sharper because he leaned in very much into the how-to content. And now with having this GPT, this AI bot, basically, in his business, his content is dialed in, is way sharper. And not just that, like he started using it, he started testing it, and within a week, he signed a new client on like $3,500 a monthly retainer. So that's great, right? Like he tested the content, boom, he got a client or a lead, and he signed him in 7 days. Whereas normally it takes him like 3 to 4 weeks to sign a client. So that shows to me that the person that came in through that post was way more qualified because the post was so much more dialed in. Because he was not teaching them how to do certain things. He was speaking to the problems. He was speaking about why it's important to solve that, and he told them where to look. So the person was like, hey, I need help with this. So he booked him on a call, signed him 7 days later. So this is a massive ROI, of course, not just in saving him like 6 hours or 7 hours a week, but also just making him a lot of money on the back end. And this is like a reproducible system in his business. So if this sounds like something that you're interested in, make sure to check the link in the description, because then I'll just get you to a page and I'll show you how we help our clients build these GPTs, do the outreach, and all these things that you need to do in order to make LinkedIn work for your business. But yeah, that's basically it, guys. See you in the next video. Cheers.